All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about partnerships and reframing partnerships. So, excuse me, partnerships aren't what you think they are. So, I think the conversation today is really going to be about breaking old beliefs and introducing new ways of thinking about partnerships, which is basically what we've done here in our pop business. So, I'm going to start us off by saying most people think that they're doing partnerships. And Marie and I have this experience. We have it both when we get on calls with people and also when we onboard clients. So people think they're doing partnerships, but they're actually just doing promotions. Any thoughts on that, Marie?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, when they think about partnerships or they hear that they are going to be working with people who will promote their offer, they might promote their courses, they might put their services. They are really trying to use people to basically promote in their target market. And inside the target market, they just want people to go and promote their work all the time. They're not really looking about how relationships really do
Yeah.
support long-term strategic partnerships for different businesses. And I think the biggest thing about that is that people think about affiliate programs. They want
Mhm.
people who will support their work, but they're not really thinking about the long-term strategic partnerships that are out there. And that's really hard for people because they've heard from the past some different kind of promotion out there that they will work with people who will um, learn and promote their work without really thinking about the courses that they have out there. So it's all about how this change happens with inside of partnerships and why that it happens now that having relationships with other people really does need to happen more intentionally. It's not just about the affiliate links. It's not just about the list swaps that are out there. It's about how people really do want to support an audience that is inside of your business, and that audience can happen for years and years to come. It's not only about one-off promotions that happen. We've heard this over the last couple of years where people have had experiences where they have a one-time commitment from somebody who promotes an offer that's out there and they get frustrated. They're like, oh, it doesn't work for me, or I tried that in the past and it doesn't happen. And that's because they're not really thinking about the long-term strategic partnerships that are out there, and they're not really creating a relationship with other people. For the last couple of years, we've had a client of ours who really has worked inside of their partnership world for plus years. They've been a client of ours, and it's 90% of their income is coming from partnerships. And it's because they see the value of having good relationships. They have 20 different partners who promote them, and that's where they're coming in and really creating long-term relationships from other people without it just being a one-off affiliate promotion that's out there. And this comes from our own experience. And for the last however many years, we've had tens of thousands of partner conversations over the last 5 years. And sometimes people are there just to get one-off conversations and they don't think about how intentional this has to be as they move into the next place. So it's around how we have partnerships and how those tactics happen regularly. It's not just the relationship, not just the strategy, not just the longevity that's out there. It's around relationships and why that relationship can increase your visibility and the target market that's there.
Awesome. Okay, so let's take a step back for our listeners, because like we said, this episode's all about reframing partnerships and making people understand that it's more than everything that you just said. Um, so why do people struggle with partnerships? We know this because we're in the business of partnerships. We know this because we get on calls with people. We know this because we onboard new clients. And we have a whole set of questions and criterias that we go through when we have conversations with potential partners or clients. Now, what's really important is that there's a strategy. You've been saying the word strategic, a lot in this conversation, and it is important to have a clear strategy around your partnerships, right? If you don't have that, then you're just basically going out there and just promoting, and you don't really know what the results of your efforts are the results of your efforts. I don't know what the word is, but we'll edit this part out. Okay, so no, a clear strategy is really important. I think warm leads and warm connections are really important. And that's what we do. When we get on a call with somebody, we have a conversation, and then we say, hey, we learn more about the person. We say, we would love to introduce you. Oh my God, this person would be a great connection for you. And I think that's really, really important. I think gone are the days of, hey, we're just going to email, hundreds of people and just, see who comes and books a call with us. It's really about, even if we do reach out to people, it's just being more thoughtful in terms of how we reach out to them, and what are the words that we're using when we're reaching out to them. So I think if you're struggling with partnerships, it's probably because you don't have a strategy, probably because you're doing a lot of cold outreach without context. You're not following up. We talked about this, I think, in episode 1. Follow up is key. Like, if you're getting on a call with somebody and you're promising something, make sure you follow up. I think that's probably my biggest pet peeve, Marie. And I don't know if you feel the same way, but if I'm on a call with somebody and you say you're going to do something, or you say you're going to promote, somebody, or whatever the case may be, follow through. And if you can't, just be honest, real, authentic, genuine with me, and say that you can't do it. And then, yeah, and I think one of the other things in partnerships is, and you and I know this will put a smile on your face, is expecting immediate ROI. Partnerships take time, and people don't understand that. You are not going to see that immediate ROI. It takes months of planning, of strategy, of conversations, of testing, of, before you can actually see the ROI or the RO, right? Like, it's not always that, return on investment, it's that return on objectives. So I think that's really important. And I think the last thing is just, we talked about transactions, right? Like, it's really, you can't get on a call with somebody and just say, hey, you promote me, I promote you, and this is the date, and blah, 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 and then you end the call, right? You really have to build that relationship. So yeah, any thoughts on that, Marie?
Yeah, I think it's like it's important that if you are a business owner or you're a part of a business, like maybe it's that you're in operations, or maybe you're a salesperson, or you are working in the visibility side of things. It's around how important it is for your business to grow and create those partnership relationships. Um, I think when we want to go out there and connect with other people, and we do this a lot inside of our business and the partners that we connect with, we want to make sure those people are doing the right thing, doing what they say they're going to do, but then also they have the right audience that connects with you. So it's around that baseline. There's a foundation that each one of the people we work with, they need to already have that solid viewpoint before they start having communications. I think partnership conversations happen as long as you have a solid foundation within your business. You know who your target market is. You know what your offers are there for. You know who to connect with, whether they're supporting other businesses that are a part of your business. I know we have a lot of different conversations with people that they are guides, they're complementary in our business inside of powerful online partnerships, the people that we connect with, our best partners um, are people who are either supporting new businesses, right? We like to connect with those people, or they're past a good partnership and they're there to do done for you services possibly, or they're there to increase their visibility. And it's about those collaborations that make the most sense. So it's a part that you should add into your business plan. It's not just thinking a one-off thing. It's a part of a foundation that's out there. And you can add that into your visibility plan as you move through, because most people are thinking about the sales that are coming in. They're thinking about the revenue that happens. Those sales conversations mimic a lot of the partnership conversations that are out there. And I think that if we think about those pieces out there and you are connecting with the right people, you can use that past to really support the growth of a partnership plan. And I think every good conversation that's out there can happen. Um, I think it starts with just creating really good relationships. That's what we've talked about for so long, right? That vibe that you get from somebody,
Mhm.
or, is it something that you want to continue talking about? And maybe, the way that you're doing partnerships before might transition and happen differently based on what you've done in the past. It's not just an affiliate program, somebody who's out there just promoting and gets a connection out there, but also to bring in more leads because those leads are attractive based on the conversation that you've been having.
Awesome. Thanks, Marie. So let's talk a little bit about the shift, right? Because this whole episode is about the shift from transactional to relational. And that is what you just said, and that's what our business is built on, and that is a lot of what we do. So I think just for our listeners today, I just want to make it clear that we talked about having the foundation. You build partnerships, right? Um, you don't execute partnerships, you build them. Partnerships are, and you said this at the beginning of the episode, they are long-term strategic partnerships, and we say that all the time. I've shifted my language on my calls to say, hey, I want to have a conversation, or even in my emails, I'm in the business of strategic long-term partnerships. Not JV swaps, not anything like that. So I think that's really important for people to understand that we've shifted, like partnerships has shifted into that. And it's not like a one-off, hey, you do a promotion for me, I do a promotion for you. One of the things, and I probably think we should probably do an episode on this, is it is not about audience size.
Mm,
And it's interesting because you and I have, we have conversations with people that are like, 6, 7, 8 digits per year that have lists of, hundreds of thousands of people. And then we have people that come to us that have, a couple of thousand. It's not about the audience size, it's about the alignment, and it's about what you can do in a partnership. And I think in the conversations that I'm having, I'm starting to hear this a lot more. It's not about list size. And the people that are, I feel like the people that are still focused on list size are still the people that have that old mindset, right? Where it's transactional. Um, and then trust is a big thing. You want to partner with people that you trust. And you've said this, Maria. I feel like the same words are coming out in all the episodes, but it's really about, I know when I get on a call with somebody, and you and I always connect, I say, I love this person, she's so amazing, or he's so amazing, and you feel like you trust that person. So I think that is so important as you think about partnerships. And have a conversation. I think it's all about conversations, right?
hmm
And that conversation can start with, I typically always ask people like, where are you calling in from? Because they're usually not from Canada. If they are, I get super excited. But that is all about, like, that is where partnerships is today. That is like, hey, I want to know more about you, your business, and that's a relationship, that's a partnership. So one of the things, our philosophy in POP is partnerships are an ecosystem. And we haven't said that word yet. I know that for sure. But we've created an ecosystem for partnerships and for people who come into our world. So we're excited, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in our business, not today, because that's not the topic of this episode. So let me ask you, Maria, a question. So what changes when you start thinking about partnerships as a system instead of a tactic?
Yeah, partnerships are definitely it's like a different theory for your business. And it's something that because if you think about being a business owner and all the different pieces that are out there, you have a certain product that you're launching or you have a certain service that's out there. Having all of those pieces together, a tactic is a part of those partnership conversations. It's all about how can you present this to people and say, this is what we're looking for. And if you have the same kind of ideas when you're talking to people for your sales, you'll have something similar that you're talking to them for your partnerships. So for us, I always think about our sales conversations and our partnership conversations are sort of similar. It's a very back-to-back conversation because if a partner is in to be able to support the product that you have or the relationship or the service that you're providing for your sales, it's similar inside of partnerships. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I think that if you consistently will have conversations with people who are open to your promotions, that's a place that you can start. I mean, you don't know if it could be one-off people that you just meet at different networking events. We do this all the time. We talk about those networking events often. And sometimes it's just a conversation of somebody else that's inside of a mastermind or it's inside of an introduction from somebody else who does a lot of partnerships. So it's a tactic that I think you should still look for, but it has to be aligned with what you're doing inside of your own business so that you're talking to the right people because you can't always just have conversations that are um, sales oriented. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I need a sofa. I feel like I need to be on a couch.
Yes.
I feel like this we can we need to switch it up a little bit. So yes, yes, yes. Marie, I was just thinking, let's give our listeners an example of a real example of a partnership that has worked for us. And I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I'm gonna tell you who I'm thinking about, so it'll make it really easy for you to answer.
Okay.
Let's maybe talk about Chelsea.
Okay.
Right? Because I think she's somebody in our world. Maybe we can talk about how we met Chelsea and what she does, but then talk about what that partnership looks like between her and us. Because I think that is a really cool example of, hey, we've had a conversation multiple times and we've now come to this partnership. So do you want to
Yeah.
share with our listeners?
Absolutely. And Chelsea will definitely be a guest of ours, I'm sure, in the future. Chelsea's a great example of how two businesses work together to increase visibility. And we've talked about that so many times. Chelsea's business, she has a business partner as well, which is wonderful. It's a big supportive space of something that we need inside of our business, but it's not a part of our services. So, for example, they have an entire directory of people that are out there. That directory is a way that people connect the right sort of people. They're the way to find somebody that would support your business, and it does work really well for the networking events that are out there or the introductions that are out there. And for businesses that are increasing their visibility through partnerships, it's a great thing. So they have a directory that's out there, which is wonderful because it's not something that we have done before in our business. Pop isn't using a directory. So she's great because it's a way for us to connect with new people. We have an entire business inside of our membership that trains people on how to do what they say they're going to do, how they're doing their tracking, how they do their follow up. And our membership is all about creating really amazing conversations for other people. And it's something that we've started with. Not only do we do that, we're in a membership space, but we don't have a lot of done for you services. So we also work with Chelsea to be able to make suggestions. So the flow is really wonderful because it allows us to connect people in a directory sense. It allows us to help others who are building partnerships and learning how to do that successfully, and to create different connections through that visibility. And people that we can suggest go work with Chelsea and their company because we're not doing a lot of done for you anymore. We're very, very specific about who we work with. But she's one of our great partners, right? They connect, they're complementary to what we do. They're all in that support space, and it's all around how to connect with people and increase visibility. Um, but it fits. It's like we're connected in so many different ways and complement each other without it being a competition. Like there are so
Mhm.
many amazing people out there, and it's not a competition anymore, even though our audience is very, very similar. I hope that answers the right question.
Absolutely. And the one thing to also say is we've known Chelsea for 6+ years. And this is just, over time, and we stay connected, and we have like several conversations with Chelsea. Sometimes it's about our clients, sometimes it's about what she's doing, but this is something that just made sense. So when you continue to have the right conversations, these are the types of partnerships that you can build over time. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that. And I just wanted to give a real life example to our listeners. So I think I'm going to bring it back. Today's episode, like I said, was all about the shift from transactional to relational. I think, there's a couple of things that I want to just leave with our listeners, and I think this is really important. If you're struggling with partnerships or, you have any hesitations, I know that you don't need more outreach, you need better alignment. So it is really about aligning with the right people. You don't need more partners, you just need the right ones. And we do this, we do have one client of ours where our focus, and we have conversations on a regular basis about who are his, top partners and what more can we do for them and with them. So it's really about the right ones. And you and I always say this, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality.
Hmm.
You don't need scripts, you need to have conversations. Just get on calls with people. I always encourage people, I'm like, let's have a connection call. Obviously it's important to have some sort of framework for the call, because I've gotten on calls and usually it's a 30-minute call and I'll be looking at the time, I'm like, holy moly, like I haven't spoken and there's 3 minutes before my next call. So it's important to have to make sure that you get what you need from the call or the conversation. And then if you need more time, then you schedule another call. And really important too is people need to understand, and we talked about this earlier on, partnerships is not a growth hack, it's actually a strategy. And it has to be part of your business model. One of the questions that I always ask people when they're not sure why I want to talk to them or the conversation I want to have is I say, do you have partnership? Is partnerships part of your business model? And if people can't answer that right away, then there's no strategy in place and they don't understand what partnerships is. So I think that's really,
Hmm.
really important. Before I close it up, Marie, is there anything you want to add on that?
No, I love the fact that if partnerships isn't a part of your business model, it's okay. Like,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, we come from a space where we really believe in partnerships, but if it's not a part of your business model, you don't have to continue to add that on. There are many, many, many successful businesses that aren't, creating super specific partnerships. They might have affiliate programs, which I think is very, very important. I think every partnership out there should have an affiliate space, but to have a partnership program that does last and is long term, I think it's about having the right types of conversations. So I'm just giving people permission out there to know that it's okay to say no if you don't want to have partnerships out there, and that's okay. We believe in it, but it's not the only thing that has to happen inside a business to make it successful.